to this new moon solar eclipse soul guidance reading. For wherever you are in the world, the time's going to be different, but for those in GMT time, UK, London time, it will be at 11:54, 11:52 in the morning, I believe, yeah. So basically, just in short, just to give you an overview of the energy in the sky, Gemini is a Mercurian house, if you like, and it's all to do with communication, connections, networking, and all that. Now, we've also got Mercury, the actual planet of the ruling planet of Gemini, with Gemini, next door to Gemini, right at the Gemini, in the house of Gemini, rather. And which means also, because it's in retrograde, and I think I said this in the last full moon reading, it's to do with a lot of rethinking, redoing, and reestablishing. Okay, so you would have done very well spending some time in reflection to a lot of things going on in your life. But what's interesting also is it's a solar eclipse, which is a very powerful new moon, because it's an eclipse. And the reason it's an eclipse, it's because it is actually on the North Node axis, which is what Gemini is currently, and Sagittarius being South Node. So these are for the people interested in astrology, as I am, and this is why I bring these elements. Now, also the new moon is, the North Node is a lot to do with new, like a rebirth, if you like. And interestingly, the chakra card that I pulled out is a rebirth card. But it is basically an opportunity when the soul gets to evolve, okay? So for some of this aspect will be very sudden, okay? It could be something that could be actually come out of the blue, hopefully a very good thing. Some of you could get a light bulb moment or a thunderstorm moment in your life where you're being reshifted, recalibrated, and recourse corrected, if you like, okay? So whatever happens, just know it's happening for your own good. Now, I've got several cards already on the table here, face down currently, and my message that I want to share that I got for this particular new moon is be open to possibilities. Okay, so now possibilities sometimes come in disguise. It could be a very positive possibility, some great news out of the blue, or it could be maybe what you might deem as something negative, but it's still a possibility, okay? It all depends on how you frame your mind and how you look at things. Now, the other thing also is the following message from that is take a leap. So again, this might be an opportunity that you did not expect or see coming, and you might actually certainly want to consider it and perhaps be bold enough to take a leap. Okay, the other message is what needs replanting, which I thought was quite interesting as well. So I feel with this, there could be some ideas, well, not some ideas as well, some things you've already been working with actually, okay, some thoughts you've had, maybe some ideas about going somewhere or doing something in a certain way. Perhaps you've neglected those, or you now need to go back and see how you can replant them. Or perhaps you started sowing those seeds some time back, perhaps even 6 months ago, and then you're now finding that you're reconsidering it. Okay, so what needs replanting? What out of the possibilities could you actually replant? Okay, and then finally making choices wisely as well. So to be discriminating with what's coming up and making the choices. Now, the overall Gemini also is to do with a lot of talking, a lot of communication, and this is also very much highlighted around relationships. So particularly in eclipses, which I already said, some relationships can really be sort of implode or come to an end. Depending on the scale of where you are in maturity, it might actually be able to be a conscious parting of the ways, as well as certainly a conscious getting together as well. So without further ado, let me open these cards. I've got quite a few here. Okay, so I feel that what's really interesting is there's definitely going to be a change of cycle, because I've got the Wheel of Fortune here, the wheel, as the opening card of the tarot. Okay, so this is the kind of energy that we're coming into. Yeah, and I feel that with what I'm picking up is this is to do with really the cycle changing, new ideas coming, new, again, turning the wheel. So again, like the replanting, what can you know, the cycles of the season as well. What can we replant at this time? All right, what would be conducive to replanting? So this is very much about also empowering your creative life. I'm just going to open the screen a bit wider. Okay, so this is really important because it's going to help activate your creativity as well as your freedom. What's absolutely stunning as we come into this as well is we've got the Ten of Pentacles. It's very much about who are we going towards, what kind of income, money do we want to make, how do we want to express ourselves, okay? And something I want to say about money as well. The reward is not always necessarily money, but what's going to enrich our lives? How are we going to get enriched in our lives as well? And this is very much about some of the values that we might want to consider, okay, particularly with the Ten of Pentacles. Here it's about making choices and really kind of creating the right connections as well, and seeing eye to eye with people as well. So really anything else you really want to sort of put on the back burner, because this is now another incredible card, is about the sun. How do you want to shine? We are going to be moving into the Leo season after Gemini, of course, but this is about how do you want to shine in the world. I think a lot of you who might be listening to this very much coming from that place. You know, we've all gone through a bit of the inward introspective. We've got Pluto still in the cycle of things, which is to do with the underworld, to do with our transformation, which is to do with the rebirth, okay? And by no means are we still in progress. You know, there still is a process, and it is still the undercurrent, but it is very much about allowing yourself to come through and allowing yourself to shine. This is going to take some strength as well, and some grounding, which is really, really important as well. So make sure that you do any practices to keep yourself rooted, be strong like a tree. So do any kind of like you know, rerouting yourself from your feet, okay? Despite the fact that our power and a sense of inner strength comes from our solar plexus, I feel that also by getting really deeply rooted into the earth is when we really hear the calling, the energy of this, the real speaking, if you like, of ourselves from a much, much deeper and rooted place. So that's where our strength really comes, okay? And in order to fly high, we need to be able to have a really good springboard, which is being rooted as well, okay? If we're up in our heads all the time, which is very Mercurian, very Gemini as well, it can also really sort of create a lot of confusion, create a lot of disparity, disconnection as well. And this is the kind of the negative connotation, if you like, or the shadow aspect of Gemini new moon. Okay, now because we've got the eclipse as well, things can really kind of throw us off and we can get into a depression. It can happen that if you're not grounded enough and doing anything that's going to support and nourish you, that you can get into the kind of what's called the lower octave or the negative aspect of Gemini. Is anything else I want to add about that? Okay, also Gemini is very much about phone calls, networking, seeing who's what and all that, which I also think this is the Ten of Pentacles opportunity. See who you can connect with, what connections can you make that can you know, take your life forward, new friendships to be built, new hobbies, possibly a group that you can maybe even build, okay? And there's a sense also of looking maybe what's around already, who's already around you that you can maybe do that with. There's a sense of loyalty that I feel is very much part of the thought form of the ideas that you're coming with. These are the elements that you want to be really thinking about, okay? Now, the other thing is the intention is really important, okay, with this always, okay? So you want to be putting your intention out into the new moon, particularly, is a very positive time to put your intentions out there, but it's always best to wait. So actually cultivate on the intentions, spend some time in the energy of this new moon, sowing the seeds. So again, planting, maybe planting some new seeds, but looking at what you can replant, okay? Now we've got the Ace of Wands, and as I'm saying that, look at the seeds here. She's got a big seed on her third eye or coming through. So this also is a very powerful time to be channeling and being open to getting quiet, taking some quiet time to start really paying attention to what forms of inspiration is coming through, getting to pay attention to it. I also feel that in some way that obviously sometimes that we might discard a certain amount of certain kind of thought, okay, because it just comes out of the blue. Pay attention to that, really kind of grab hold of that seed and see if that seed is worth sowing. And I feel that it will be. Okay, now it is really important. Like I said, maybe some of you are going to be leaning towards some kind of tribe, some kind of new connections. Okay, and I feel that this Gemini full moon, new moon, particularly a really good time to be intentionalizing about how and where you want to belong. And I feel that a lot of people are beginning to have sensed that, particularly after the months in the last year's experience of the pandemic and the COVID and the restrictions. Okay, a lot of people have noticed that the family are really important. Some people maybe without families have noticed that they really want to belong somewhere, maybe make a move, a physical move, to places maybe that will give them that sense of belonging as well. Now, which brings me to think about actually how Gemini, your new moon, this new moon eclipse could be aspecting in your chart. Now, depending on where it falls, because it's actually at 19 degrees, 54 minutes, okay, I don't want to go really into the technical side of the thing, but basically those numbers are actually quite important. So if you were to look at Gemini in your chart, you feel what house that falls in. Okay, and that is where your theme, your personal theme of Gemini is going to be also strongly aspected. Because this is a collective soul guidance reading, I think it will speak to a lot of you on some area of your life. Okay, because we've all got Gemini in our charts, and we've all got it in some place within the 12 placings, okay, of the house. So basically, if it's in the third house, it's to do with your neighbors, your people, your brothers and sisters, possibly as well. If it's in your fourth house, it's to do with your home and family. So maybe some of you are thinking about moving home if it's in your fourth house, or you might have to move suddenly, maybe your landlord, or you might have to sell up. Okay, I was gonna say your landlord might give you notice to leave. Okay, or whatever. So again, your home life could be eclipsed. Okay, it could be something that maybe you've been thinking about, and now it's pushing you because you think, you know what, I'm really done with my area of life where I live, and it's going to bring heightened things. Okay, you're going to see things clearly. So if you've been putting a hold on to things as well, I say this because I'm seeing this hangman, and for me, while hangman is normally a suspended animation, I personally feel like you have been suspended for so long now that now it's actually really time to see things clearly and following in your heart. Okay, this color also is a very green card, so it's very much heart chakra card. But also, for some reason, I just love the way her chest, her breastbone is sticking out there. And this is a very, you get that posture also in the fish pose in yoga, which is a very heart opening position. Okay, and so her heart is opening here. So how I'm looking and reading this image is to really follow the what inspires you, but to do so from a place of your heart. It's so important now that we try not to solve our problems or what we need in life just from the head and the practical aspect, but really bringing the heart element. And this has been a theme of all my readings, really. And it has been so because it's what the collective change is happening. And this is where the rebirth is coming into place. So you want to really start looking at what you can grasp or what you can catch. Again, my eye is gone into the image of the little whirlpool symbols there and different elements going around. And her arm is actually kind of reaching out for it. So what are you going to grab hold of? Again, this comes to what possibilities that when you see them coming, are you going to take hold of? Okay, so take a leap, grab them if you can. This is a really important time. And the other card, of course, I've got two aces, so definitely this is to do with new beginnings. Okay, so this is the intent of the situation. We've got two, and aces are often new beginnings, new starts, new forms of inspiration, and new possibilities. So this is very much about the heart. What is going to fill your heart? How can you bring your heart into your work? Okay, how are you going to be able to, you want to be going with the willingness of yourself wants to be. Okay, so it's not like something you have to do, but where do you feel really called upon to share yourself from your heart? This is really important. Okay, and we're all finding, and I know I have found as well, that certain things that you really just don't want to be serving yourself from anymore. This is going to be a very, very strong awareness, a strong awakening, if you like. Okay, we're all unfolding. Okay, in some way. Now, for some of you, this could be a real, like I said, again, because it's an eclipse, a sudden thing. You might suddenly feel quite emotional and realize you've been doing your life in a really backward manner, or you've really been settling for something for so long. Okay, so this is very much something that you are going to be awakened to, and this is a change that's going to definitely be happening. You also want to be, like I said, really aspiring to going out into nature, and sitting by big trees. Now, if some of you are lucky enough to be out in the green areas or near parks or forests, I really recommend that you go into these clearings, or where the trees are, as much as you can. And that's where you'll find also your center and a sense of calm and sense of peace as well. All right. I can't enhance that enough. And this is also where you're going to get your forms of inspiration. It's when we are being very peaceful, one for a better word, very quiet is the word I'm trying to think of, actually. All right, now I'm opening the last 3 cards here. Okay, the 3, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot for this particular new moon reading. I have not used the tarot, and certainly this deck, for a very long time as well. So from what I can see here, there is going to be some, for sure, for some of you, a strong aspect of meeting new partnerships, new love. And I think I even touched on that in the full moon reading. And like I always say, each of my readings go over the time, right? So a new full moon will cross in over a new moon and back into the next cycle of the new moon, full moon, as with a new moon. So there's going to be always like a spiral crossing over. Okay, so definitely new partnerships, actually thinking what options you've got as well. Sometimes 6 of, this is a major arcana card, could be of what options you're taking. I'm also noticing as well that this also could be about maybe going towards something you would normally go towards, or maybe things that are of the opposite end scale. Okay, the difference, if you notice that he's Black there, and then she's, from a different ethnic minority thing. So for me, it's about actually there are differences. Okay, so again, it might be an option you have to make that you hadn't considered, or it could be something of a difference to you as well. But to actually be open enough, the openness is very apparent about how you approach and go towards something that I might not have considered, but it could actually be a very, very fulfilling situation. Now, for many, I think there, like I said, there's going to be either a breakup or a renewal also of vows as well, of a promise of something very beneficial, both in marriage, partnership, relationship, or even a business. Okay, when I say even, this is just not exclusive to personal relationships, but certain partnerships as well. Like with anything, though, it is very important to speak your truth. So the communication with Gemini, of course, is very important. And anything that maybe there's been some regret or maybe not communicating, it's really important that this is a really good time to be doing that. All right, to actually allow yourself to be led by being as honest and truthful as you can in terms of communicating, and not sort of buffing over the truth. Now, for some of you as well, this has come after a bit of reflection, or you've come through a time of resting quite a bit. And Four of Swords for me is very much a time of reflection, retreat, as well as and also taking some time out. All right, you might find also some on an emotional level, some of you actually need to be doing this work. Okay, this is the overall energy. And when I say overall, it's been an energy that's been for a while, and it is also coming to a certain climax where we are actually having to recognize that there are certain things that we're going to be seeing and reflected back through the relationships that we're having as well, or the new people that could be coming, or people that we could be coming up against, or there's certain new people coming into our lives as well. And there's no judgment of anything, but to pay attention to really what's showing up. Okay, and there is a lot of healing, a lot of inner healing still that has been very much a theme, and this new moon could actually be really highlighting that. So it could be with your siblings as well. Perhaps you need some strength or some truth speaking, all right? And to also follow maybe what that has been hidden. Actually, I think maybe there'll be some elements of things that have been skirted over, hidden, and or in the dark. And I feel that that is going to be coming out, certainly to be lit up. Now, that's not a bad thing at all, okay, because we can actually mend a lot of relationships when we really get to see things clearly, okay. And that's important. You might sort of see that there are certain patterns that you've been actually playing out, like always rescuing somebody or feeling that in the need to actually do something right or good, that you're actually still actually sort of in the codependent theme. You actually might find that you could, people reflect back to you about some people who maybe could be really catty or nasty, and maybe looking at what part of me maybe thinks I deserve this kind of relationship or these relating. Okay, now of course we can't control everybody that we meet, but it's about noticing really what the reoccurring themes are. For some of you, it could be a repeat pattern of relationships that are really not serving you. You know, they're all serving your highest good, of course, because they're there for us to notice where we need to change and grow and empower ourselves. But that said, I think for many, there's been a lot of soul, I won't say retrieval, but certainly connecting to your soul and relearning. And there's going to be a new masculine person, self, coming into the field of ourselves. Okay, one that is loyal, one that is grounded, one that is which is going to mature. Okay, and I'm saying this because this is also the King of Pentacles. Now, King of Pentacles for me here, he sits there, he's quite a wise looking guy. He's got the dog there, which is also a sense of loyalty. So maybe it's about you being loyal to yourself and building a relationship up where you're becoming loyal to yourself. Okay, like, you know, dogs can be a bit like a guard dog as well. Okay, you know that if somebody negative comes, they start growling, or if they know that there's an intruder. Okay, so again, be your own wise masculine. Okay, and again, this applies to women, you know, owning your masculine self, your other half self, the, you know, the yin and yang self. All right, and also be able to bring a sense of maturity into even now picking up on how you can express yourself that will also become quite a lucrative thing for you. Okay, this is a process now. King of Pentacles also is known about a person with knowledge, and bringing that knowledge into the space and starting thinking, well, how can I cultivate on this? How can I, you know, sort of maybe make more money or make it much more of a lucrative situation? And this is a long-standing idea as well. Okay, this is not a flash in a pan ideas at all. All right, from what I'm picking up. Now, at the bottom of the deck here, wow, okay, at the bottom of the deck of, I have two cards which I think are very poignant and supportive of this, which is what I was saying about replanting. We've got the Seven of Pentacles. So again, if you look at all these little coins and growing at roots, so what do you want to replant that you know is going to grow? Okay, maybe you've put it on the back burner, or because COVID, a pandemic, or, you know, we've been everywhere, but where we need to be in some way. Now is the time to start looking at what's going to really grow. Okay, what's going to be returned to you in a sense that's going to give you the fulfillment to see something grow as well. And this is about growth in not only on a personal level and an internal level, but on the outer level, but also on a global scale. Okay, which I really feel what this Ten of Pentacles for me in the Sun is about. What difference can we make in the scheme of things and in life generally, but outwardly? Okay, so this is very much about manifesting something, how you can serve beyond yourself and being the inspiration that you might need to be. Okay, also with Gemini, I'd suggest that there's a sense amount of flexibility that you keep in mind. Okay, so if something comes towards you, sort of bend like the bamboo, or, you know, like in yoga, this is why also in yoga, when you do certain postures, it really helps for us to cultivate that sense of being in our body and being embodied in that. And I use yoga particularly because that's one practice I have done a lot over the years. But in any kind of modality, there's a flow, okay, but particularly in the flexible, bending forward position, it allows us to be much more flexible in life as well. You can always tell people when they're stiff and rigid because they kind of walk, you know, very stiff and rigid, and they're very sort of tense in the neck and they're walking out like that. Okay, you know, so you can tell a lot about people, how they carry themselves. So flexibility is really important, okay, and yeah, and I just really feel that there will be some kind of course of celebration. For some of you, there'll be some very, very good news that you'll be celebrating, or even internally feeling the sense of self-celebration, you know, that you might feel like, wow, I can't believe I've come through all this, okay? For some, you might feel like you've kind of had a full cycle, that you've gone full circle in some way, and noticed a difference of where you've come, how far you've come, how much you've grown. Okay, and then maybe now you're ready to take a leap and really start showing up. But there will be some cause of personal celebration or word celebration as well. The other card I've got behind the Seven of Pentacles in the bottom of the deck is the Star. So again, for some of you, it could be actually putting your wishes out there. That's just, they're putting the intention out there, or even getting your dreams come true, or certainly having a wish land on your in your space as well. Okay, like I said, it's a really, really good time to do a ritual, putting your intentions out there. And I did cover that in my last reading I did. And I feel that actually this is definitely going to be some that could be coming into fruition for you, and some actually even a very magical spark of light. In terms of what you actually put out there. So this would be also for people who have been doing the intentions, and you don't necessarily have to put intentions out. They do recommend putting your intentions on paper, but I really do believe that divine intelligence is far more intelligence than that. So if you don't write it down, it doesn't mean to say anything's not going to happen. It does actually happen. A lot of people don't write their wishes down, but know deep down that this is what they want, and that is the kind of energy I really feel that is available. Okay, so really sit closely to with yourself. Go out in nature, be at home. It doesn't matter where your sanctuary is. All right, and then really allow yourself to be true to your heart and yourself. Okay, I don't think there's anything else I need to say about this new moon reading. I really wish you a great new moon, a solar eclipse. Like I said, keep your mind positive. Go out in nature, get yourself grounded, be open to possibilities, okay? And then if they come, do be discriminating, of course, making the choice wisely, but do take a leap forward. There could be something that's calling you that you did not expect. And for some of us as well, and for some others, I do feel, that there are maybe seeds that you've planted last year, and you now actually want to sort of clear out the weeds or the bulbs that you don't need, and then actually see what could be replanted and actually going from there. Because it is now time for you to come out of the suspended animation of holding yourself back, really, and then moving towards people that you really know are going to see you, hear you, and get you where you can serve from the heart as well. Okay, so for those, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Stuck in jobs, excuse me. Stuck in jobs as well, and you think, well, I can't leave that. This is a time now to start planting some possibilities for yourself as well, and really thinking that you can make changes and getting out of the rut that you might have found. Okay, I would love to hear your comments on this new moon, this eclipse, and see what possibilities have come in, what possibilities you might be considering, what possible new love affairs, new love stories could be entering. Excuse me. Hay season has arrived, and really to be able to open your arms and you see, look at this, and she's embracing the possibility there and celebrating almost. So I really truly hope, wish you and hopeful, one filled with faith and lots of vibrancy, this new moon eclipse. And please, like I said, like as well, or comment below. I'm also asking for donations now, so I'm going to maybe ask for it's less, but I am going to be bold enough to ask for donations. I've got a Ko-fi link down there, which will allow me to be able to continue with the projects I've got in mind that I want to generate, and one of it is actually create a new deck of cards for the young as well as for the adults, all in one. And any kind of support will be most appreciated. And do like and share these videos as well, especially if it speaks to you. Okay, lots of love. I will catch you in the full moon. Yes, at the end of the month. Is that one called a moon? Let me see. The full moon. The next full moon will be in Capricorn at the end of the month on the 24th. Okay, but until then, the next 2 weeks are really, really poignant, so and powerful. So cultivate your intentions. Let your intentions come through in the next week or so after the new moon. Okay, and then after that, you start actually wanting to act on generating the energy of the new moon. Now with eclipses as well, they are not only just for a few weeks or just immediate. It could actually, anything can happen within the certain few months following, and it's a life-changing experience as well. Okay, so this is a pivotal point, life-changing point. So it's not to be taken lightly, and particularly if you're more conscious of what's happening, you can actually really help to generate the direction that you want to go in. So with that, Lots of love. Thanks for listening. And I will catch you in my next upload for the full moon. Bye for now. Bye.